め続けたあの日の夜
Welcome back, everybody. This is your Anime Degens BS Hour, episode 57. I am here with my boy Tyler. We are missing Dan once again. Somebody go find that man. Dan, if you're listening, come home. We miss you. But Tyler,
And
man, how you doing?
it's sad because, unfortunately, we're ready for him to be back, but he's going to be gone yet another week.
Yeah,
So,
he's out there doing fun shit. I don't blame him.
and what's he doing? Like snowboarding or some shit?
Yeah, he's snowboarding up in the mountains.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
So, I mean, dude, let him do his thing. He's out there living his best life. So, all
hell
that good
yeah.
stuff.
Hell yeah, I'm with it. I'm with it. I'm happy for him. Everybody needs the vacation. Y'all use your vacation days, guys. Don't let your boss make you feel bad. But guys, what we have today for you, is a little bit of news first, and then we're gonna get into a Degens movie review. First one we've done in a couple of months. I believe first one this new year, and we're gonna be doing the Ghibli film Princess Mononoke. Gas, if I must say so myself.
Big
Um,
fans of Ghibli around here. I think we've watched a handful of Ghibli movies so far. So,
I feel like at least three.
yeah,
At least
probably.
three. Yeah.
I say probably our goal is to watch them all eventually.
Dude, it's not gonna. We could do it this year. We could do it in the next couple of months. So I'm cool with it. um, but yes, guys, the best way to support us is always rate the podcast, tell your friends about us. They want this good content. I think we got some pretty decent takes sometimes, maybe. And if you have any interesting topics or questions you want to ask us, hit us up in the comments, YouTube, or hit us up on our socials, linktree.com/anime degens. Hit us up in the Discord. We in there. I should say Tyler and Dan are in there. But yeah. But beyond that, we'll go ahead and get to some news, guys. First thing we have is One Punch Man season 3 confirmed, and JC staff will be doing in not Mappa. I'm happy
Yeah.
about that. I'm actually really happy about Mappa not doing it.
Yeah, there was actually like a lot of rumors going around that Mappa was actually going to be doing it, and so we got the original the folks that did the first couple of seasons back. So I'm
Hmm.
pretty excited about that. They done a good job. I feel like so.
Yeah, they did do a good job. I think I only seen the first like 1.5 seasons, but yeah, season 1 animations, it's good. It's good, I think. Also, Mappa needs to start turning down some jobs, I think.
Yeah, they need to get their animators a little break.
Oh, yes.
Let them do that work.
Mhm, mhm.
But I'm pretty excited about that. It's I've been waiting for a while to hear it. Now we just played a waiting game on when it's actually going to release. So, which we do not know. We just know it's confirmed now. So that's a dub in its own way. So,
Yeah, for
um,
sure.
and the next thing we got, the Crunchyroll Awards just happened about a week or so ago, I believe it was. So we're gonna go through. We're not gonna do all of them. We're gonna go through like a handful of the bigger ones, like anime of the year, film, stuff like that, and just talk about them a little bit. We're not gonna spend too much time on it.
And,
Plus,
and
Stony, go ahead.
oh, sorry. And I was gonna say, and we did the DGs for you guys anyway. Like, I mean, it's cool. The Crunchyroll Awards are cool. Like, they're all right, I guess. But the DGs is where it's at, man. Y'all go check out episode 47 of the BS Hour. We got loose on that one.
Yeah, I think we did like crazy. We done like unique categories in the DGs. So like Crunchyroll had like anime of the year, best film, best original, stuff like that. We had stuff like the villainous fashionista, fusion dance masters, unforgettable fights. Love is in the air, biggest anime simps. Just a bunch of like random unique categories that we got together and nominated people for and decided who was actually, we discussed amongst ourselves and
Exactly.
decided who was going to win. And shout out Kriegs. He was our tiebreaker for like several of our shows. So,
um, And I mean, we were asking the questions you really care about. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like the villainous fashionista, like everybody cares about drip, and there's no Crunchyroll drip award, so we made one for you. Check it out.
Yeah, the closest you're gonna get with Crunchyroll is what best character design. Like, you know, well, I mean, we telling the shit that you want to hear. So check out
Exactly.
the DGs. It was fun. It was really fun. But with that being said, like I said, we're gonna get into some of this. Stony from Anime's Anime. She actually wanted to hear our thoughts on like some of the Crunchyroll Award winners and all that stuff, and like who we wanted to win and stuff like that. We're gonna kind of get into that. Like I said, we ain't gonna go too deep into it because we do have the DGs out there where we spent probably, if I had to guess, probably an hour and a half talking about just bullshitting about anime awards. So we don't want to spend another hour and a half talking about Crunchyroll's bullshit anime awards.
Yes, sir. But yeah, let's go through the short list, and I think the first one that I see here is Anime of the Year, and this isn't a surprise to me, but I guess some people may have been sore about it because it's a big award. It's the big boy, JJK season 2. This is actually the summer arc, where we had, I think it was called Premature Death, and then something else after that,
Hidden inventory,
and
I believe
Hidden
it is.
Inventory, and then Premature Death. Yes, bomb ass shit to me. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed it. Like we were talking about it every week. We followed the show on the rundown. It was amazing. So
Yeah, and just like I was saying, I was telling Bass before we started this, JJK hidden inventory and premature death arc. I really enjoyed that probably more than I did Shibuya incident arc, just because we got to see like Ghetto and Gojo back, in the day. We got to see
right,
like their old personalities, or I mean, their old ways of doing things before everything went to shit, basically. And I really enjoyed that. I really
yeah,
enjoyed seeing
it
their
was
vibes and
cool.
yeah,
The only thing that put the Shibuya incident above the first, I guess, half of the season there was
Sukuna.
Mahito, bro. Mahito. Like I got it's just like I was watching the second half of the season to see Mahito get fucking put down. And like I was like emotionally invested in him getting his ass whooped. And like there's not many shows that make me like, nah, I'm turning on the TV as soon as I get off work on Thursday, and like we gonna see if Mahito gets boxed up.
Yeah.
That's I mean, a phenomenal character to me. I don't like him, but I like the character that they made for him. Yeah.
Well, I feel like JJK does like such a wonderful job at villains, because not only do you have like Mahito, you have obviously Toji. He was like a
Hell
really
yeah.
good villain of the first couple arcs or whatever. And you also have Ghetto, fake Ghetto, and you
True.
have Sukuna came out too. Like the Shibuya Instant arc and JJK season 2 in general, like it was peak storytelling, I think.
True.
You don't
And
see this shit happening just in any anime, like the shit that we just witnessed in Shibuya Incident and JJK season 2. So,
for sure. I'm gonna push us through the next few awards, and then we'll stop and talk about a couple that were similar to our own awards. A copying us out here. So best film, Suzume. We did a full review on that one. I cannot remember which Degens episode that was, but I think it was around the October, uh,
probably in the
the
40s, I would say.
in the 40s. I thought it was maybe in the
Yeah.
30s, but
Yeah, it could be.
yeah,
So,
if you just Google Suzume anime Degens, it should come up. We got a
yeah.
best original as Buddy Daddies. We also have that on the rundown. That was gas. Tyler wants a second season. So that'll tell you enough. They deserve that award. And then we have new series, best new series, which is Chainsaw Man. And this was very similar to one of our awards that may have been stolen. And I'm not going to allegedly, I'm not going to accuse anybody of anything. Uh, our version of the award was New Kid on the Block, and we had Frieren because we did the calendar year instead of like the normal anime year.
What
So
what else did we have on there?
On the for the nominees,
Yeah.
I'd have
Who's
to
the
pull up the
nominees for that?
nominees really quick. Hold on. Let's see. Degens
We all knew
47.
Frieren was gonna win, so
I
for
mean, it's
that
not.
one.
Yeah.
So I fully expect
So
Frieren to win. I almost said New Kids on the Block, but I fully expect Frieren to win the new best new anime of Crunchyroll next year.
so our nominees were Frieren, Heavenly Delusion, and Oshi no Ko.
Okay.
So we didn't even have Chainsaw Man on the docket. Like yeah, like it's not in my top 4 for last year either way. So
You know the funny thing is Heavenly Delusions and Oshinoko, Hell's Paradise, Zom 100, and Bochi was all nominees for Best New Series, and Chainsaw Man beat them all. And I think there's only one show. I think in that list, it's only above Hell's Paradise for me. That's what I think.
ooh. Ooh,
I
yeah, no,
think
I can
any of the
follow
rest of
that.
them could
Okay.
have took that award
I
over
didn't
Chainsaw Man.
I didn't watch Heavenly Delusion, but like the hype surrounding it, I need to. But you know me, I tend to watch like older
Yeah.
anime. I watch like shit that's like from the 90s and early 2000s. That's my shit.
Yeah. The thing about Heavenly Delusions is it's so it makes you think a lot. You know, it's one of those. So
Okay. I
you
need
might
to
actually enjoy that.
I need to
Yeah.
go check it out. Now that football season's over, I got plenty of time.
I think it
Uh,
being on Hulu kind of hurt it though. So
really?
yeah, I think so. I think it wasn't really talked about a whole lot after a little while during the season, and I think that may be why is because it was like Hulu.
That makes sense.
You know how it
Yeah.
goes. Like if it's on Hulu or Netflix or something like
It can
that,
get slept on. Yeah. You
yeah.
can get slept on for
So
sure. But continuing, best continuing anime, One Piece one. Best main character, our boy Luffy. I mean, naturally. Best anime song, Idol by Yaosobi.
yeah,
Um, I listened to it today. It's actually a good song. I hadn't heard it before today. And
and
then we have best animation, which is Demon Slayer, Swordsmith Village. I think it's fair. I don't know if y'all feel a different way in the audience, or Tyler, you feel a different way. But we had Frieren winning our version of this award, which was throwing money like UFO table. I don't know how to say that. So
yeah.
what's your thought about the winner for Demon
Well,
Slayer here?
so I think Demon Slayer at this point is just winning it because it's Demon Slayer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like kind of like Air Award, throwing money like UFO table. It's like what Ghetto as Gojo. Are you best animation because you're Demon Slayer, or are you Demon Slayer because you're best animation? Right.
You wild. You a wild boy.
So I mean,
Okay. Okay.
we had some peak in the nominees for Crunchyroll. We actually had Mob Psycho 100 season 3, JJK obviously season 2, AOT final season chapter movie 1, and Chainsaw Man and Trigun Stampede. And me personally, I would have gave it to Mob Psycho because they really went hard on Mob Psycho out of
Okay.
these. And maybe and I JJK deserved it too, but do we want this to be more of a JJK sweep? AOT was like really good as well. I don't know. I felt like Demon Slayer. I felt like Entertainment District.
Entertainment was definitely
Yeah,
better.
yeah. I felt like it was definitely better animated. Even
But
though they hopped it up to this season to be more better
I mean, but there
animated.
were some sequences in Swordsmith Village that were
Yeah.
very strong. Like we had the wow, but
Love
black
Hashira? Oh.
I'm blacking out on like the Nezuko, when Nezuko
Oh.
like grabbed the blade and things like that. That whole sequence with Tanjiro, like that was amazing. And like, yeah, we all know Entertainment District. That's probably the best animation we've ever seen. in my opinion, that's some of the best animation I've ever seen. Period, regardless of year. So I think it's okay for them to take a step back from that because it's just what do you do sometimes. Um, but for our, I guess, blowing the budget type beat, we had Bleach, Thousand Year Blood War, Spirited Away. We did things that we watched in 2023, by the way, guys. We know Spirited Away is not from 2023. It's beautiful animation. Then we had
Yeah.
Frieren, which I think Frieren's very fair. And the nominator for that was actually Tyler. So
And I think Frieren swept for us, right?
Frieren had a huge day that day. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Madhouse, like they just like went crazy on Frieren's budget, and we're still seeing it even today in this like second cower of the anime season. So they're just going hard.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, definitely out of like all the awards, JJK won a lot. They definitely got the sweep on this one, even though it was only the first hidden inventory and premature death. So technically, I guess they could actually come back next year and with the Shibuya Instant arc and put up a run for a bunch of awards too, right? I'm pretty maybe
I
that's
think
how it
so.
works. Maybe
I think
that's not
that
how it
might
works. I don't know.
happen. I think the only people that like, I think the only show that might be able to stop it is Frieren.
Yeah.
In my humble opinion, my very humble opinion.
That's who
But
I'm gonna vote for, but you know.
yeah, yeah. Maybe me too. We'll see.
Yeah, but I mean, we're not really gonna get into like all the other ones. Like I said, it's mostly JJK. Chainsaw Man, I think only won that thing, and I think Chainsaw Man kind of swept on the like voice actor awards. Like they had like best voice actor performance,
Yeah, they
and there
did.
was like a lot of dingy award winners, like in Spanish and even the English. Like there was a lot of awards for dingy in Chainsaw Man. So
So good for them. Gotta have
yeah.
those good dubs. You want to get us on to our next piece of news?
Yeah, and so with all that being said, we actually got some interesting news that came out. And apparently there's going to be a new animation in town, and it might attract some like people that's
Ooh,
unfamiliar to anime maybe.
you think the okay? Go ahead.
And it is going to be Twilight. Twilight is going to be getting remade, but instead
Jesus.
of like a legit remake, I guess you can say, they're actually going to be remaking it into an animation, which is kind of crazy, I
Yeah.
think. So,
So what I will be doing with my socials is most likely blocking the word Twilight in all the main character names. So I just refuse to see this on my timeline.
you're going to miss out on
Yep.
Spy Family content, right?
Oh shit! I've been
Because that's
handcuffed.
Lloyd's name,
I've been
right?
yeah, it is. No. Okay, maybe not. Maybe not. We'll see though.
But yeah,
Um,
I'm kind of excited to see this,
you're
see what
excited?
it kind of looks like. So
I'm happy for you.
it'll be interesting to see like how many fans like watch Twilight the animation and kind of take a dive into anime. You know, I wonder what the like conversion rate to that is. So
I feel like it's gonna be dummy low because like I feel like most of the teenage girls that watch Twilight are like grown ass women now that like are not interested in Twilight type shit.
uh, I don't know, man. Like
Maybe,
I don't
maybe.
know.
Hey, y'all hit us
I
up
feel
in the
like
comments if
it.
I'm wrong because I'm okay with being wrong, but this is my little corporate hat on.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just so used to the anime. I guess what demographic would that be the
Yeah, I
correct
mean, I
term in
guess
that?
I like shonen, so
So
like yeah, it's not that big of a stretch. Yeah,
I mean, like I
but
don't
like
really
Twilight though.
know. I don't really have like too much experience on like I guess people outside of the anime demographic. I guess you can. I
Hmm.
don't even know if I'm using that word correctly in this situation, but like I don't have any like much experience with the thoughts of people that don't watch anime. I associate and interact with people that watch anime, so I kind of know what their thoughts are on this kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Right. I
So
think it's gonna be hard for them to like pull in people that don't watch anime already into it, and then like the main different demographic, which I kind of just felt like were like generally non-anime watchers, like teenage girls back in the day that were watching these movies. But who knows? Maybe they'll care because it's Twilight. But we'll see. We'll see.
I'll, I'm not gonna lie. I was a big fan of Twilight too. Uh,
That hurts my heart.
I even read the books. You know, I was a
It was
nerd.
me
So
first. It was me versus the world out there, brother. God damn. Like it was like all like the neighborhood girls that like the Twilight shit, and I guess you.
I'm really hurting bass right now, y'all.
Yeah, so like I like back in the day, I hated Twilight because like that's all like the girls in the neighborhood would talk about. It just used to get on my fucking nerves, bro.
I mean, does that take really like surprise you though? Since I
No,
enjoy like
no,
romance and stuff like so heavy.
it shouldn't have. It
Yeah.
shouldn't have been a
So.
surprise. I need to think harder sometimes, I guess. But the next piece of news we have, guys, is a One Piece Puma collab dropping March 23rd. We got some all white Luffy's, some Shanks. We got it's like a beige velvet with a white stripe, and then we got some buggies, some cobalt blue stripes with the reds, bright red. Those are the dopest ones, in my opinion. And last, we got the Blackbeards, the all blacks with like a nice little gold line. Going up the swoop down the side of the shoe. So check those out. Google those. Get on Twitter. Look those up. Let us know which ones your favorites are. I'm gonna have to stick with the Luffy's. He's just bomb. Then I'm gonna go with the Blackbeards. Then I'm gonna go with the Shanks, Blackbeards, Luffy's, and then the Shanks are terrible. Shanks are terrible.
Which one of the Shanks is it
The red ones, the dark
like
red ones.
the bright ones or the dark
No,
ones?
the dark ones.
Okay. Uh, I wonder why Buggy ain't got like the medallion thing on it.
I'm not sure either.
Is it because he's a
It's
fraud?
they're fakes. They're fakes. Oh, but they'll probably come with it on. But those are my favorite pair out of these four for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I probably wouldn't wear these. They're really not my type. I like basketball shoes, I guess, or
Right.
Crocs, So
Okay.
that's my kind of vibe. These are like I feel like these are like walking shoes or something, like style shoes, right?
Yeah, they're
So,
more style shoes. Yeah.
but hey, I mean,
Dan's more of a Puma guy. I wish he was here right now.
yeah, we're getting like anime collabs like this, and I love it. So I actually seen like Overwatch was getting a Cowboy Bebop collab.
Overwatch. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
So
so
I mean, I can run through that real quick. We need to get to our movie review. This is some long ass news.
yeah.
But yeah, they're doing an Overwatch collab, and it's freaking phenomenal. It's probably the best collab I've seen so far. They haven't dropped the actual player models, but there's like a short little anime style intro with like the original Cowboy Bebop song. You're gonna have like Ash. You're gonna have Ash is gonna be Faye. You have I don't feel like doing all that. Let's just keep going. I quit.
the,
I quit.
the good news is we're getting more and more collabs, and I
Yeah.
love it. And the next piece of news we actually got our own little thing coming. We got some new logos coming. We felt like after a year of being in the business like this, that we need to, get some more customized things going on, right? So
Yes,
we're gonna
sir.
be looking fly soon. Obviously it's gonna be like, um, it's Big Three related, kind of themed, I guess you can say. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty excited for everyone to see it. We figured that we'd let y'all know that it was coming. That way, y'all would be able to find our stuff. If our logo changes all of a sudden after a year. So we just want to let y'all know it's coming. So be on the lookout for it. Sometime within the next few weeks or a month or whatever. Um,
Coming
and
soon.
we're gonna be interested in seeing if y'all like them or not. So.
Yes.
uh,
And then our last piece of news here, guys. the legendary creator of the Dragon Ball series, Akira Toriyama, passed away on March 1st, this past week. And we just want to pay our respects really quickly to him because he, I mean, has had a profound effect, I think, on all of our lives that enjoy anime. I think for most Americans, at least, and we know for our Mexican brothers and sisters, um, that's how we kind of got introduced to the genre. So we very much appreciate you, Toriyama, man.
Yeah,
A
definitely.
legend, an absolute legend.
Yeah, and I really do think that without Toriyama, like anime wouldn't be the same as it is today. I think that he had like a direct hand in putting the anime in the path that it's on right now. So
Dead ass. Like literally, like the first anime I ever watched was like the OG Dragon Ball.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
like
mean
that was the one.
the thing is
Actually, no,
like
I guess technically it was Pokemon, but like I'm not counting that. I'm not counting that. That was because of the games. I'm just not
yeah.
gonna count it. Yeah.
The thing about like him and his like legacy, like when I was a kid, um, it didn't matter if you watched anime or not, right? Like you could be like an older person that had never seen anime and barely watched cartoons, only when cartoons was on or whatever. But I guarantee if you said the word Dragon Ball or Goku or Kamehameha, something like that, they would know what you're talking about vaguely.
Yeah. Goku.
So
Like if you show somebody a picture of Goku damn near anywhere on this damn planet and they're under 45, they
yeah,
probably know who that is. They might not, know anything about him, but they're like, yeah, I've seen him before
yeah,
for
and
sure.
that goes to show you just how like legendary and iconic Toriyama's work and legacy actually was. So,
Hmm. Yes.
um, a lot of people is gonna really miss him, and all that good stuff. It sucks that he had to go, soonish. I think he was like 68 years old, so that's kind of
Yep.
young. So for,
Hmm.
uh, but yeah, it's definitely R.I.P. Rest in peace. And
Yes. He is your
tragic news.
favorite mangaka's favorite mangaka. So
Yeah,
yeah.
and we could actually see that a lot of like mangakas came out and showed their respect and said what he
He's
truly
the
meant to
OG.
them. So yeah,
Yeah. He's the OG. The big
yeah.
guy. Um, but guys, we're gonna go ahead and get you into the on a lighter note, we're gonna get you into the Degen movie review of Princess Mononoke. It is the 1997 film directed by Hayao Miyazaki and produced by Ghibli Films, of course. So Princess Mononoke is a story that follows Ashitaka, a banished prince who is now caught in a conflict between industrialization and nature, all while trying to find a cure for a curse that has been put on him. The journey leads him to Princess Mononoke, or San, who is fighting to protect the forest. So, guys, I'm gonna open it right up. Like this was phenomenal. I really, really enjoyed it. I was reading online that it's a lot of people's favorite movie, or at least animated movie. But what had you heard about this before we watched it this last week, Tyler?
So, um, I hadn't really heard a whole lot about this. Like, I didn't really I've never really paid attention to like the cover art, or I've
Hmm.
never really like clicked on it and seen what it was about. I just knew that it was there and I knew it was a Ghibli film. I seen a lot of people like on threads and like the socials just like them trends that go around like top 5 anime movies and stuff
Right.
like that. Like stuff like that would go around, and Mononoke, Princess Mononoke would be on that list for a majority of people. So I was like, it must be a good show, right? Since it's on so many of these lists, along with like Silent Voice and Violet Evergarden and stuff like that. So, um, it definitely, I guess, piqued my interest.
Mhm.
I thought it was like some type of Cinderella shit or something, honestly. Um,
You
uh,
definitely didn't look at the cover right then.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I'd seen it before, but like I didn't really like pay attention to it. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah,
glanced at it
yeah.
as I was scrolling and stuff like that. So, this definitely caught me by surprise. When I actually did like look into it and stuff. I guess the word princess kind of made it seem like it was going to be like a lighter, like fluffier, I guess,
Uh-huh.
or something like
A
that.
little bit more
You
cutesy,
know?
more Disney
Yeah,
princess type thing.
yeah. So,
Okay, okay.
um, but that it was not. So,
No, not at all, man. Not at all. And going off that, like this is definitely not a Disney movie, you guys. If you haven't not seen it, and first, of course, we're gonna start off with the no spoiler zone, and then after that, we'll do our spoiler zone, and we will let you know when that is. It'll be cut separately. Um, so for this first section, we're kind of just gonna do like we always do, general questions and not to spoil anything, of course.
yeah.
But Tyler, in your opinion, was this a kids movie?
Well, so I think that it could be. It depends on like
I'm gonna ask you the question a little bit better, actually. What age do you think it would be acceptable? That's subjective, of course, but what
okay.
age would you
That
say
that
that it would be acceptable for a child to watch this?
that's what I was going to get into more. Like, no, it's not a like under 10 like movie, I don't think. I feel like that if you're hitting around like the 10 or above, or I like at least like a, I would say 10 or above, honestly,
Okay, like
because
a fifth grader.
yeah,
That's a fifth
maybe
grader,
maybe
right?
even a six. I think so. I mean, if you really want to
Okay.
push it, because I mean, it doesn't really have like, there's only like a couple scenes that really stand out to be like gory, I guess.
Yeah, but
Um,
like but like I
yeah,
think the ones that are like, if for
they
example,
are, you know,
some people's arms get chopped off and some people's heads gets chopped off in this. And,
yeah,
like, it's not even, like, in, like, the background. It's
yeah.
like that's one of the only people on the screen at the time and it happens. It's a little crazy.
I felt like the one of the goriest scenes that we see is like when we first meet Mononoke or San.
Mhm.
When Ashitaka first meets her, that's pretty
That's a
pretty
lot, ain't it?
that's pretty that's a lot for like a, even for a 10-year-old probably. It's probably a lot.
Yeah.
Um, I
I
mean,
was
so
gonna
there's
say I
yeah
was gonna say, like, I was gonna be very similar, but I was gonna say, like, 11 or 12
yeah.
because I could see, like, how a very sheltered, like, 10-year-old or 11-year-old be like, "Oh my god." 'Cause I was watching it and, like, I thought we were, the first 15 minutes, it goes, like, it's on pace, like, it's going already. Um, and then I just saw homeboy's arm get chopped off, and I was like, "Wait, what? Like, already? Like, what's going on?" It caught me by surprise. I definitely was like, "Okay, maybe I need to pay a little bit more attention, like, what the hell's going on?"
Yeah, I mean the whole movie isn't like bad about that
Mhm.
kind of stuff. It's just like certain scenes, but the scenes like Bass said that show those things, show those like intense, gory moments. They lean into it pretty much. So
Yeah, they're not shy of it at all. And I'd say in total, maybe it's like 4 or 5 instances. It's not even like a whole scene, like,
yeah,
it's an instance of where I would be like, "Yeah, somebody under 10 should not be watching this." But I think once you get, yeah, like you said, that 10, 11, 12 range, like, it's but,
it depends on parents and how they was raised. You know,
this is
it
definitely
depends on a lot of things.
PG-13.
So
Yeah, this is definitely
um,
PG-13.
I've probably honestly we've probably seen, things that are kind of similar and like, you know, kids movies too, right? Like it's a different world nowadays. You got to remember that as well. So, but
Um, I don't know that you see, like, the graphic scenes, like, the instances that we're talking about. I don't know that you see that in, like, kids shows today. Um I don't know, I can't think of any that are that bad.
see the
I feel like on TV, they coddle kids more than they did when we were younger.
And the funny thing is too, like, a lot of kids nowadays, even if they're under 10, right? Like they still watch uh like adult shows like
Yeah.
Marvel, so just shows like
Well, I mean, not
Lord of
even
the
that.
Rings, like
Like
stuff
even
like
if like
that.
um, Lord of the Rings isn't that bad. I don't think.
No, I was just throwing out like
But like
shows
I like my little
like that.
cousin, like she watches like Demon Slayer and like some of the shit in Demon Slayer. It's like yeah, okay, like
Yeah.
looking at my cousin that's her mom, I'm like, yo, like I'm not trying to I'm like and I don't rat her out, but I'm like definitely sitting there like, you definitely haven't watched her watch this, have you?
I'm just gonna go watch cartoons, mom.
Right, right. And I'm sitting there like I know what she's watching, like, bro, like but like she's an anime fan, so I'm like not trying to like, stop her shine. And she's like
next thing you
12. She's like 12 or 13. No, she's 12. So like I'm not like not super bad.
Next thing you know, that she's gonna have To Your Eternity on, watching that shit, bro.
You gotta send me the a screenshot of that so I know what I'm getting into. There's some things I will stop, I will say.
Oh, it's bad, bro.
Yeah. But I mean, next thing I wanted to ask you, because this was my favorite thing about this film. The story I thought was like solid. I thought the story itself was solid and the plot. But what really stood out to me in this were the actual characters. I mean, we had people like Lady Iboshi, Jikubo, Ashitaka, Moro, San. They all seem to be very like complex and multifaceted, faceted, and like which characters like resonated with you the most, and like maybe like lightly explain why.
um, Me, I really, really enjoyed um Ashitaka,
Hmm.
uh, because there's not a whole lot of like in most anime or like TV content in general. Like you can't really find someone like that. Like they truly made like a unique character out of him, and I enjoy that. Like he literally has every reason to be bitter and angry, especially as like a main character, I guess.
Right.
Instead, he tries his best to help everyone out, I guess you can say, instead of being bitter and angry.
True.
So
Um, and like it, I don't, and like I completely understand what you're saying because like they do it in a way without giving up too much detail. Like they do Ashitaka in a way where like he seems to always like do what's right, for the most part, but he's still unique in like it somehow. Like he seems like a real person is what I guess
yeah,
what I'm trying to say. Like he seems real. He seems this is how a real person would act. And I think
yeah.
that's what stands out to me with like a lot of the characters. Like my
Oh,
favorite character. Go ahead, sorry.
I was going to say a real person that had like stands on their like morals,
Right.
and doesn't like give in because that's what he is. He doesn't give in to, I guess, his thing is unbiased, right? So, and I really love that. So
Yeah. Nah, he's just a good fucking dude.
yeah,
Um, my favorite character outside of Ashitaka, I wouldn't even say like he's my favorite one. I think the one that resonated with me the most is Lady Iboshi. She I think she's a phenomenal person that was doing the wrong things for the right reasons. And that made her so complex because I didn't like her for most of the film. But after we learned more about her and like I'm like seeing the people, that she's around and like what she does for her community, it's like, wow. Like she's
yeah,
actually like a dope fucking person.
yeah,
Um and like I think she's supposed to be like an antagonist type. Like these I think what um Miyazaki does so well with the Ghibli films is like there's like no traditional villains. And I think that just adds so much to a story that these could be real people. They're more like real people where, okay, I'm gonna make a really, really, really like Pablo Escobar. People think of him as a villain, like a ruthless criminal drug lord, right? But
It's a good example. I see what you're saying. So
yeah, but like he was also probably really nice to his family. Like no one's all bad and like bad all the time and evil all the time. Or they might be doing bad things, but they started off on a path and now they're just there doing something that you consider bad, but they might be doing it for reasons that you don't know, positive reasons in their own mind. So like, and I think
yeah.
that was what Miyazaki does really well. And I think like for me, Lady Eboshi is like the pinnacle for that, at least in this film.
And I definitely agree with that. Which we can't really get into the reasons why we think that really, because I think those are pretty spoiler heavy things, I
Yeah,
believe. So,
and we will get into it
yeah,
in the
we
spoiler
will.
zone for the people that have watched this. And if you haven't watched it, after you get through the no spoiler zone, definitely go watch this. It is 2 hours and 15 minutes, and it is worth your time for sure.
It really is. It doesn't seem like 2 hours and 15 minutes either. Like it's it flows so well. So,
Yeah, for sure.
but other than like Ashitaka and Iboshi, like was there any more that stood out to you?
Um, I'd say Jikobo, Chico,
Is that the
the monk.
red nosed dude?
Yeah, the monk. Yeah,
Oh, is that what he was? A monk? Okay,
yeah. That's at least that's what he was saying. He was a monk.
okay.
I don't know if he really was a monk. Um, but yeah, I thought he was also someone that was supposed to be an antagonist, but really just wasn't a bad guy at all. He did some really positive things in the film, but he also did some really, really negative things. Like, but everybody's got their own reasons for doing what they're doing, and like you really couldn't blame him, like for what yeah, you could blame him. You definitely can blame him. He did get blamed for it, but like at the same time, it's like I understand his character. He's not like an unreasonable. It's like this guy's just a villain. Like he's a terrible person. Like, but he's the closest person in the film to being a villain, and he's still not to me.
Yeah, I enjoyed his character because it confused me. His character confused me for the most part. It was on the screen. The whole like every time he was on the screen, I was like, "What is he doing? Like, why is he doing this? What's really going
Right?
on here?" So, um, like his vibe and personality was different than everyone else's. Like, there was no other character in this show like Jikobo. He was truly like a one of a kind in this show. So
Yeah, yeah, definitely agree with that. He pulled out a couple skills I didn't think he had either. Yeah, it was cool.
yeah, and like I this might not be like the correct place to say this, but I probably should have said this like before when I was talking about like the Cinderella type shit. But
Mhm.
this like the whole like situation, like the whole movie, it it kind of reminded me of like Tarzan type shit, right?
Ooh, brother. That's close from what I thought it was. And my sister watched. She typically watches like at least the Ghibli films with me, and she said Tarzan. I said Pocahontas.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I feel like so it's crazy you brought that up because I was trying to pinpoint like what exactly it was like because Tarzan just doesn't like really fit it, but
Hmm.
it's there. But I think maybe Pocahontas with Tarzan, I think combine those, and this
Yeah,
is kind of what this is.
definitely,
So
definitely. Um, I was for what was I? I think I was on YouTube. Typically, I look into these shows and movies a little bit before we review them. One of the comments on one of the YouTube videos was, um, what was it? It was like, "This is what Pocahontas should have been." And I was like, "Man, like, I gotta go watch this." And then I watched, I was like, They're definitely right. They're definitely right." Um, but it was also a really cool setting, I thought it was. So the setting of the movie was the, Muromachi period from about 1336 to 1573. This was, like, the period right before, Oda Nobunaga took over in Japan and took Kyoto. So, not as I don't think it's as well known period, I guess in for Western people, but this is characterized by a time where they started bringing primitive guns over from China. This is before they invaded Korea, I think in the later 1500s. And I thought the setting was wonderful. There was just starting to be some industrialization in that part of the world. Um, Iron smelting, like we saw, it's really cool. What did you think about the setting?
I feel like it fit. It definitely fit. It I don't know, like, so with the whole storyline of this show, it made sense to be in this like era, this setting, this
Yeah,
period of time, because if you had it in a more advanced future, then you wouldn't have the conflict like we did in the movie as well. Like you wouldn't have the conflict wouldn't have been as good in the movie as it was in this period. If you had it older, then it still wouldn't have been as good, right?
right,
Either so the future, obviously one side would have had more of an advantage, and in the past, obviously the other side would have had more of an advantage. And in this period, I think that it had the perfect balance where like nobody really had the advantage. There was sometimes this one had the slight advantage and this one had the slight advantage sometimes.
right.
So it made it perfect. I felt like so.
That's a really good point. Like, yeah, like it's like this story only works for a few hundred years in human history that
Yeah.
we know about, right? Um, yeah, so like that 1300 to like 15 or 1600s range makes sense. It makes
Yeah.
sense. Um, but yeah, I thought it was really cool. I mean, and from there, like the animation, we know what it is. Like this is 1997 at Ghibli. Like we've talked about the animation from Ghibli Studios. Um, I don't know, 4 or 5 a million times at this point. So like it would be just saying more of the same. But we typically ask that question. I think we're gonna skip it this time.
I mean,
Because
Ghibli's
you guys know
Ghibli,
what you're getting. You know what you're
So
getting. Beautiful hand
yeah.
drawn.
Yeah.
Like, get a grip. Um, but what were some of your actually before we get into that, I want to ask you, what did you think about the movie's theme overall?
Um, like what did I enjoy it or like what did I think it was?
What did you think it was? And
So
did you enjoy it?
um so I think the which there could be like more themes or whatever, but I think the theme was kind of simple in this one.
Mhm.
I think that it was the I think it was the like popular theme of human greed and versus like nature. I think it was something along those lines and how
Okay.
they have to figure out like how to uh live together, like live beside each other, I guess you can say. Um that
Yes.
that's kind of what I got out of it, like the greed of humans versus like I don't even know what to call it, like the
Like
nature.
versus the environment. Yeah.
Yeah, the environment, like they want to like keep the environment whole, I guess.
Okay.
I know there's a word out there for it, but they don't want like humans to destroy the forests and stuff like that,
Right.
which
Deforestation and yeah.
yeah, and all that stuff because of greed. They humans they want to advance and make money and all that stuff, and they have their reasons, and obviously it doesn't sit right. When one side goes far, like the other side, gets punished for it, basically. So
Right. How do you balance that?
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I
what did
definitely agree with that. I think
yeah
that was like the main one of the main themes. I thought the other main theme one for me was overcoming hate.
okay
Or like not letting hate take root in you and like remaining soft and um we can talk a little bit more about why I think that is. But so if you take the literal translation from Japanese to English for the title of this film, it is Princess of the Spirit of Vengeance. So that also makes me think this is about not being angry, not being vengeful, and trying to understand each other instead of coming to blows.
Yeah, and that also makes sense now because like I was wondering almost the whole movie, especially at the end of the movie, I was wondering like why is it called Princess Mononoke? Like uh I know they're talking about San, right? But
Mhm.
uh San is never called Mononoke in the movie, right? That I know of.
She is so like um
I must have missed it
she
then.
she's called that by Lady Eboshi.
Oh, okay.
She's called that
I
by Lady
knew.
Eboshi. I think when other people are referencing her outside of like her mother, they call her Mononoke. But like if they're actually talking to her, they call her San.
Okay, so I do remember Eboshi calling her princess,
Hmm.
but I didn't know I must have didn't hear the Mononoke part because she only called her princess like a couple times. Most of the other times it was Wolf Girl, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, for
So
sure. No respect to the name.
uh, so I was wondering why they was calling her princess as well. Because to our knowledge, she's not a princess, so
Yeah.
right?
I
But
mean, I guess really technically not. Um, but yeah, man, I think those are probably the two main themes that I could get out of this as well. But what were like some of your like your biggest likes and dislikes?
so some of my likes, like, was the characters. Like Ghibli, they usually do characters really well.
Mm,
And I feel like this group of characters, each of them was like pretty unique, compared to like other Ghibli movies, with their own personalities and their own uniqueness.
mm,
Like they like couldn't put these characters in another movie and it wouldn't make sense. You know what I mean? They belong in this movie, type deal. And I actually enjoy that because it's not like copy and paste characters. It's actually you can tell that they're thought out. You can tell that uh like they're made for this movie kind of deal. So
right. Yeah, and I already said that. That's my
yeah,
favorite thing about this movie
yeah.
are the characters. Um, yeah. So for me, like the likes are the characters. I really like the setting, which Tyler pointed out was it had to be this few hundred years where we're like really battling the elements as human beings. Um, my dislikes though is like really like the actual plot. Like
Okay.
it has this movie has such great moments and such great characters. Very seldom watched a movie or show where I said I like the characters more than I like the actual film.
Okay.
So like the plot is still good. It's still well thought out. Like I think it's a really good film, but like I don't know how a film's characters outshine the actual plot. I don't know. Like this doesn't happen much to me, you know?
Yeah, and I know what you're saying because one of my dislikes was actually about the plot too. Which is weird because like I really enjoyed this movie and I got it rated kind of high for a movie for me.
Hmm.
So, um like the whole thing of what'd you say his name? Jacoby? Jacobo. Jacobo.
Chikobo. Yeah.
Like his whole thing, like every time he was on the screen, like I was confused by him, by his actions and what he was doing. And I don't know. I'm sure that's maybe what they wanted you to feel like, but I feel like they told us too much information for us to believe that because they would tell us information about like the emperor and other stuff, and then they would just stop and like what who is this guy? Like what's like why is he important? Why is he like doing this? Why is he doing that?
Right.
And also like some of the conflicts that are happening is just pretty confusing because we don't really know. It's not really uh they don't really dive deep into why things are happening when they're happening. It's just happening, I guess.
So I know a little bit about this period in Japan. So that
Yeah.
helped me understand some of this. And like we can get
Okay.
into it in the spoiler zone.
Yeah.
I may be able to help you pull some of them pieces together. But yeah, it was confusing. I ended up watching it twice. I usually do with the movies that we watch. Um, it wasn't so much that it was confusing for me. It was just more that it wasn't the. I was expecting like you said, Tyler. The beginning of all this was this is on everybody's top 5 list for
Yeah.
animated films or like
Hot,
anime.
maybe. Yeah.
It was it. I think it's grossly overhyped, but still very good.
Yeah, okay. I see what you're saying. It's
Yeah.
one of those things where like people go into like Attack on Titan or something like that, expecting like great things, and then they watch and they're like, "Oh, that wasn't like that was pretty good, but it wasn't like that good," kind of deal, right?
Okay. Okay. You know, that's an
Is that
interesting
what you're
one
saying?
to choose. This is an interesting one to choose because Attack on Titan isn't in my top 5, but we ain't got to go there.
Well,
Um,
I'm just throwing something
but
out
yeah,
for
but
because a lot of
yeah,
people do hop up Attack on Titan, you know,
it is
and
possible to
especially
overhype
for
even Attack on
yeah.
Titan. Yeah, it is.
So
Um, but yeah, I think that's just what happened for me. And my sister said the
okay.
same thing. She was like, "It was really good, but definitely overhyped."
Okay. Yeah, I so like even like after like all the confusing bits, like it still kind of made sense what was happening because the theme was pretty simple to me. I
Hmm.
felt like the theme you could understand pretty well what was going on, what the major plot of the story was. You know, it showed that front and center obviously, but all like the side plots, I guess you could say,
Hmm.
was where it got confusing to me because they give you some information, but not enough information to really understand what was going on with it. I don't think they give you just enough to support the main story. I felt like is that a good way of explaining it?
Yeah, yeah, I
Okay,
think so. I think you're right in that in some areas for sure.
okay.
Yeah. Um, but we're gonna close this out with the last couple questions we usually have for the no
Oh,
spoiler area. Go ahead.
a, another dislike that I kind of disliked was the fact that the animal started talking halfway through with no like there was no like we'd seen animals and we'd seen like Mononoke or San, you
Uh
know,
huh.
interacting with them and stuff, and then just out of the blue they start like talking, and I didn't expect that in the show because we had never we well
They were
wait
talking the whole time.
okay wait never mind.
Nah, they were
I
talking
was
the
gonna
whole time. Don't
say
do that, Tyler. Don't do that.
I do remember the boar talking now, so that makes more sense now. That was a big thing for me,
Oh, okay.
but then I
But they were
forgot about
talking
the
the whole
boar
time.
talking,
Yeah,
which was
yeah.
in the
In the
first 10
first,
minutes.
maybe even the
Yeah.
first 5. But
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. Re- Disregard what I just said. It makes sense now because it was introduced early on.
yes.
I was under the impression that it just started like literally an
Oh,
hour
okay.
plus into
Okay.
the movie. The animals started talking out of nowhere, and I'm just like, bro, what?
What the fuck?
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, so I the next question is, would you recommend somebody watch this? I definitely think you guys should. I've already said that several times, even though it's the no spoiler area. Tyler, would you say the same?
I think so. I think this is a pretty must watch. I mean, it's Ghibli, you know, like
Yeah,
you need like if it's got Ghibli's name on it, then it's
you
more
should
than
probably
likely
watch it.
guaranteed to watch it. So
It's a
yeah,
certified banger, more or less, if it's Ghibli. Um, yeah, even
especially if
though
you
it is
like
overhyped, like
Tarzan
it's
and
yeah,
shit. So
yeah, and I think if you like Pocahontas, if you're a fan of anime, I think you'll like this.
yeah,
If
even
if you're only here for like the big fights or something like that, this isn't for you. But
yeah,
if you care at all about a plot and like want to see good characters on the screen, you can't go wrong with this. And I think this is something even non-anime enjoyers will watch. and will like a lot.
Yeah.
Because like the characters are just that good. Like it's not about the genre at this point. Like it's just good characters, good flat out good characters. Um, but I will let you go first with the rating, and
Okay.
then I will go next.
Um, I would say this is like a 8.5 to 8.7 range, probably like
Hmm.
the mid 8 to high 8, because it's a really beautiful movie, like really beautiful, the great animation as always. um like you don't really, um you watch this movie doesn't really feel like it's a 1990s movie, um, which is saying something. Like that's how good it is. It's 1990s movie that still holds up for today as far as movie and animation wise. The sub sounded good. I watched it all in dub though because Ghibli dubs are usually phenomenal. And this one was phenomenal as well. Kept me interested for the whole 2 hours and 15 minutes. I didn't have to
I
really take
wanted
a
more.
break. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wanted more. Yeah. Like I was
And,
like, this is it. Like it can't be over yet. Yeah.
and
Sorry. Go ahead.
that's kind of one of my dislikes too is, as y'all know, like I'm a big, like, I want more at the end of the movie type guy.
He needs closure. Yeah.
Yeah. And this kind of like ended abruptly. I didn't really want to get into it very much in the non spoiler part that we're doing right now, but it did end kind of abruptly. I was like, when the credits started rolling, I was like, what?
You know what this movie could have benefited from? Boy, like I don't know how you're familiar or like okay, it's like the 90s, early 2000 like African American movies where they like do like the little cameos at the end. It's like so and so went to college and started, as a D1 athlete and grew up to
Okay.
be an
Yeah.
engineer, and then they switched to somebody else. If they would have done that at the end of this movie, I would have like really enjoyed that. It would have been out of place, but like
Well,
just like
uh,
to add some more like what ended up happening after like
yeah.
the big conflict that was over. Yeah.
It would have definitely gave us like more closure on what happened with, the characters that we grew to love, I guess or feel attached to, because we
Yes.
didn't get that. We just got like the ending of the conflict, and then they're just like, "Oh, well, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do this," and then black. So
Yes. Yeah.
that was pretty much it. And I was like, "Huh? What?"
Just give me 15 more minutes.
But
Um,
even with that being said, like it still had a really beautiful ending, I thought. So
yeah, it was phenomenal. I'm going to give it an 8.6. This is one of the highest ratings I've given out for any show or movie that we've watched. We still have The Wind Rises at 9.1. I believe I gave it a 9.1 or like a 9.4, something like that. I think this is the next closest. Like I said, it's definitely overhyped in my eyes. Maybe I need to go watch it one more time. I probably will sometime in the future. But it's timeless. Like I think this is not if this is not something that you can like feel like it's dated. Like it's not it can't be a dated story. There's no dated theme here. I think it's actually become more relevant as time has gone on and like how we treat our environment and like how conflicts get resolved and how we should like treat each other. I think it's become even more important, which is crazy. Um, this is 27 years later. And like I think it's honestly more applicable today than when it came out in 1997. And there's
yeah,
not really any films I can say that I can think of off the top of my head right now that are like that. So wonderful, wonderful work of art here.
yeah.
Ghibli did it again. Surprise.
And I will say that on Mal, it is 1.2 million people has rated it or whatever, and it's 8.66. So I
Oh,
we hit it around the average. So
Mal's, yeah. I'm usually like 2 points lower than Mal. I feel like on
okay,
average.
like
S
you
like,
would
say if like
normally
Mal's
rate
like an
them
8,
like a
I'm usually like a
6.6.
6. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. Some of them I'm pretty close, but I'm usually like not like right on like this with Mal.
okay, and it's 1.2 million people though, so it's a lot. That's a lot
Yeah,
of uh
it can definitely be more accurate that way.
yeah,
But yeah, man, it's just good shit.
yeah.
But guys, we are getting into the spoiler zone right now. We'll give you a quick pause so you can turn it off, go watch the movie, and come back. Well, guys, this is the spoiler zone, guys. We're going to go a little bit deeper dive and talk more freely and openly about some of the questions that I had, the questions that we came up with about the story. So, guys, if you've watched the movie, feel free to follow along with us. And if you don't mind being spoiled, if you haven't, go right ahead as well. But we about to let it fly for real. But guys, I mean, Tyler, like the movie opened up really quickly, and we talked about that before with Ashitaka defending his village from the demon. I mean, this is a quick. I felt like this movie was a quick start and a slow burn at the same time. Like
Okay, yeah,
but
definitely.
what was your first impression of the movie? Because like you said, you didn't really know much about this going into it.
Yeah, like I said, I thought it was gonna be like just like a Disney princess type shit or something like that. And
Hmm.
like right out of the gate, like within the first 5 minutes, you're literally, um, we don't even know who these people are, and they're like, it's supposed to be about Princess Mononoke, right? And we're watching
Yeah,
some like boy, for the whole first 40 minutes of the show, and I'm just like, where's Princess? Where's this chick at that's on the cover? Like, where's she at? You know, but the first 5 minutes was definitely something else. It kind of set the tone for me because it was when the boar first came and you had like all the purple worm tentacle things coming out of it, right?
yeah,
And it started like attacking and stuff like that. I was like, this is kind of dark. And then when he actually killed the boar and stuff, and it talked, and
it talked. Yeah.
yeah, it talked, and I forgot about it talking, but it actually said some mean shit, like some hateful shit. And I was like, okay, this is kind of like unhinged, kind of like some kind of crazy
Yeah.
shit happening right now. Like, what's going on, really? So,
Right. And it was crazy because like the Amishi people, um, they were being so respectful
yeah,
to the demon, even though it was attacking their village. And then it just spat that, hey, well, I hope y'all all burn and die. Fuck y'all. And then
yeah,
it died. And it was like, yo, like it's like you would it seemed like, okay, these people are so wholesome. Like, there's no way like this thing is gonna be like trash to them. And like it just said some really hateful shit, like, and it was like about all humans. It's like, okay, it's about to pop off.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, it was really fast out of the gate. I really liked the Amishi people, and then I actually looking it up. The Amishi people are like real, I guess, an ethnic group from Japan, from the main island of Japan, like the northern part of it. Um, they're real people from the Tohoku region of Japan, and they're actually known for they were known for their bravery and archery skills on horseback. So it's very, very in line with what we see from Ashitaka throughout the film. The boy's
yeah.
an
Like,
archer from hell.
yeah, dude couldn't hit his shots, bro. Shot the freaking boar in the eye. Like, I
Hmm.
mean, name someone else that can do that. Robin Hood? Like,
Right,
come on.
dude was taking off heads and shit, dodging
Yeah.
arrows on horseback. Well, I guess on deer
He,
back.
he was catching them, bro.
Yo,
He
he
was
did catch one.
catching
Yeah, yeah, he was on some other shit, bro.
them. Like he's some like crazy. Like that's why I said this kind of reminds me of Tarzan because that's some Tarzan shit, right?
Yeah, he was
So
going crazy. Like he was definitely low diffing those foot soldiers like
yeah,
constantly. He was like he didn't have like a real fight. Like I think he could have just beat the shit out of everybody if he really wanted to.
yeah, that wasn't his
Now that I
character
think
though.
about it,
So
yeah, that's not his
yeah,
character, but it's like yeah,
with
like he's really like that though. I didn't even
uh,
really think about that till right now. Like he is really like that.
so you'll like this. You like this. When I was watching this, after he got like his arm got cursed or whatever,
Uh huh.
and he was like shooting bows with his right arm, and it was like getting bigger or whatever, and
Hmm.
chopping people in half and shit like that. I wrote down specifically, is this where Frankie got the ideal strong right from? Damn, son.
Maybe, bro. God damn. Nah, he was on one. He bent that sword with his right hand. Yeah, like dude was on some other shit.
Yeah, strong
Um,
right with a vengeance, bro.
hmm but yeah, the Amishi people, I think about out of every group in the story, like they were portrayed the most positively. But I mean, what did you think about their decision to like banish their prince?
um, so like they're like I don't really put it against him because technically they didn't really banish him. They give him the option, right? They give him the option. He could have stayed and died there, right? But he's literally the prince, and I say that would probably look very bad. And I say for a tribe like that, it's probably looked down upon to be cowardly, especially
Yeah.
after him acting so bravely against the demon.
hmm
So
Yeah,
I guess,
yeah.
yeah,
It'd be a bad look.
yeah, it was truly like he had an option, but he didn't have an option
He
type
really
thing.
ain't have no option. Yeah.
And I think it's pretty common for tribes like that that once people leave, like they're not allowed to come back, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
I
it's a
wanted to
common
bring this
thing.
question up because like I was thinking about it because it's like they not only did they banish this man, they said we're not even allowed to watch you leave. Like we can't even say
Yeah,
goodbye. Like get the fuck out of here if you're choosing to do that shit. And like I say it that like they're the most positively portrayed, but like their rules seemed really ass at the same time. And like they were obviously sad about it, but they still did it, you know?
yeah, and you also got to look at it from their point of view as well because they're the last of their kind too.
Right.
So I mean, they have, and this is back in the day as well. So like things are different. Like their perspectives are different back then. Like they're much more like set in stone in
Yeah,
their
we're the
ways.
mountain people. We're
Yeah.
all together. Like we all have the same ideas and we think the same way. If you go out there and learn some other shit and start doing other shit, you're no longer one of us anyway. Yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely get it, but like still kind of shitty. That show's Prince, bro. Like y'all really can't bend it a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I definitely understood it. Like just because it was from a tribe's point of view, like I said, they have their set ways and they follow it to a T without
hmm
bending usually. And that's just the way it is.
Yeah,
So
for sure, for
uh
sure.
so it was it sad to see, yeah. And that's one of the things like in the first part of this movie review, I said he had every reason to be bitter and angry, but he didn't. You know, he literally had to leave his family, he had to leave his people and be like banished from them and can't even come back
Mm-mm.
and see them or anything. He got told he was gonna die in so many. I don't even know if he got told today, but soon he got told he was gonna die soon, and all that stuff. So like he had every reason to be bitter, and he chose not to be. He chose to
No,
be like a good
10
person.
toes
So
down,
yeah,
100%. Like, yeah, it didn't change him at all. Like, like you would expect anybody else, like anybody, like be like, man, this is some bullshit. Like, why me and blah 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 blah. He's like, nah, I just got to do it. Like, there's really nothing else. But that
it
would be
may.
tough to be like kicked out of your home after defending it with your life and not being able to like say goodbye to like anybody. His little sister came and gave him that little stone dagger or arrowhead, spearhead, and like even she was breaking the rules. But like, yeah, I thought that was like mad sad, and like it made
Yeah,
me look at the Amishi people a little different. And but like this is how real people would behave.
yeah.
That's just like part of what this movie is, and like typically what a Ghibli film is. Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like some of his character, like some of the way he acted, was because maybe he was a prince too. I felt like that. I feel like that's kind of important to uh, for it to be there because he was the prince of that
Yeah.
village. So not only he wasn't just like a normal person that they was doing this to, they was doing this to their future prince, So,
Yeah, for
but
sure.
of an
Um,
extinct group, right? So,
yeah, nearly extinct. Yeah,
yeah.
they had been pushed out of their lands 500 years ago and forced to live in those mountains, pretty much by the emperor. Um, yeah, and it seemed like the elders were more upset than he was. Like,
Yeah.
but he's just that guy.
Yeah.
He's just that guy. Like, I don't know what to say. But going on from there, like, what were your like some of your favorite parts of the film? Like the stuff that like really just sticks out in your mind.
So my first like my favorite parts of the film, I think one of them was when Ashitaka first met San. Um that was like a really wild moment. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like I said in the first part of this review, that's one of the moments that's not really meant for younger kids,
Hmm.
because she's literally trying to suck the, I guess, uh, lead or iron out of her mama wolf,
Hmm.
and she turns around and sees Ashitaka, and like there's just blood all over her face, and she's just got like a menacing look. Like you're wondering if she can even talk at this point, like if she's full on like beast
Feral,
mode,
yeah, yeah.
So
Um, and like it's like so funny because like Ashitaka's like, oh my god, she's so hot.
yeah,
He's like, she turned around, she's got fucking. You see her like sucking like blood out of a wolf and spitting it out, and she's just like mean mugging you. He's like, oh my god, I think I'm in love.
It's crazy because they literally put that in there, that he kind of fell in love with at first sight with her after she was doing that shit. And like,
Yeah,
and then they just, that's not really a main thing they focus on, which was kind of crazy to me. I felt like it would had more of that in it, but I don't guess it would have felt, the story wouldn't have felt right with that in it, right? But at
yeah.
the end,
Because
like,
it wasn't really as important. Like
yeah,
there was
it
like
was
more
brought up
important things
though.
going on. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was brought up a few times, but like it wasn't like a main plot point.
Yeah, and that's one of the things at the end that I was really disappointed in, because at the end, since we're in the spoiler zone now, instead of like, so they, they saved the day, whatever, and
Hmm.
at the end they kind of go their separate ways, and like I'm wondering, like this, San, developed feelings for him after all that he did, and a mutual respect or whatever, and Ashitaka's always had the feelings for her ever since he met her, right?
Right.
And he's like, I'm gonna go to Irontown and help him, build the village back, blah blah blah, and she's gonna go, I guess, be the new guardian of the forest, or just kind of protect the forest, I guess, because that's her
Yeah.
job as a wolf, right?
Right.
And the thing that I want to like, does he come back to live with her since they're in love with each other? And that's kind
Well,
of his way of living, right? Is in the woods too. So,
yeah.
I,
I mean, the Amishi people and Ishitaka, they both have an immense respect for the forest gods and
yeah,
their and nature. Like that's just what they do. Like seems like they have immense respect of all the things around them. Um, and like Ashitaka said, like, hey, I'm gonna go help them rebuild Irontown. But he's like, I'm gonna come see you like whenever I get the chance. So
okay,
like, I think he's gonna like help them rebuild Irontown,
then come
and like
back.
yeah, that's what I think. Um,
I
because
wish they would have
I think
shown
he'd
that
much rather
though, or
live in
told us.
nature, huh?
So I said, I wish they would have shown us or told us, like some like concreted that down. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think he's gonna be spending all his free time with
With
San. Yeah, I think he's gonna be spending like he's gonna work during the day and be like, yeah, I'm gonna go see San. Y'all, I'll catch y'all later.
he seen what she could do.
Yeah, and then San was like, like you will always mean a lot to me. But she's like, I still can't forgive them, which is that's perfectly fair for like what everything that happened. Like they messed up the ecosystem,
Killed her
um,
mom, right?
and inadvertently killed her mom.
Yeah.
Um, so like, yeah, I respect that, but like they know they have to live their own lives. But like, I think once Irontown gets rebuilt and like the forest starts coming back together, I think they'll find some middle ground for each other. That's what I got from it.
Yeah, because Ashitaka made them realize that you can't do the humans can't do what they wanted to do because they can't beat what's there, right?
I
So,
think it was. I'm not even like not beating it. I felt like it was just having respect,
yeah,
like
well,
knowing your fucking bounds. Like,
that too, at the end of the story, like, San respects Ashitaka and what he is trying to do enough to not push that dilemma any further, and I think that the humans and Iboshi gained enough respect for nature and that
right.
side as well. So, in order to prevent them from trying to fully overtake nature in the future, but Iboshi
Because
is
they
just
can't
one
live in.
person.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Aboshi's one person, but Toki's husband was like, "Yeah, I didn't know that the forest spirit makes the flowers grow."
yeah,
That I think they thought it was a spirit that maybe lived in the forest instead of like it being responsible for the forest.
yeah,
Because there's no way they could have lived in Irontown the way it was when the forest spirit got killed. Like, there was nothing. There was no life.
yeah,
So yeah, I think it's just like more of them finding a balance, like you said, between the industrialism and nature, which is what we should be doing here in the 21st century and doing a better job at it. Science people, but yeah, there were some really cool moments. Some of my favorite moments were like the really small things um, that made these characters feel more human. Um, it was really cool moments. Some specific, they're not like the big things, like simple things like Ishitaka like washing out his bowl before he like got water for the injured guys after he found them in the bottom of the hill or the cliff. Um, the leper at the end got healed. I don't know if you noticed that after like the forest spirit went down permanently. The bandages were like falling off, and she was like, "Oh my god, like I'm good." Like it's just things like that, like make it feel like they're actually people. It was really cool, and those extra details that the studio spent money on that they didn't have to do, because those things don't push the story forward. There's things that like make the characters better.
yeah. And since you brought that up, like the small details, there's another thing that really stood out to me too is when they first met the Kodokos or Kodokas. I'm not sure which way to pronounce that, but it's the little white good luck spirits or whatever that was clicking. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Um, when they first met them in the forest, right before he met San for the first time, he found the people and they was freaking out about the Kadokas, and Ashitaka was just like, there's nothing to be worried about. That's Kadokas. They're good luck charms. If they was gonna harm us, then the the deer would be
Freaking out, yeah.
freaking out.
His red deer would be
And
freaking out, yeah.
yeah, and I felt like that was such a good thing to show and say because that is true in the real world as well. Because animals would be freaking out in that moment if something had ill intentions, right?
Right.
And they pointed that out, and I thought that was really a good thing to point out. So
That's true. I mean, like deer in particular are very skittish.
yeah,
But I think like animals like pick up on danger a lot quicker than we do as humans because we're like stupid and curious sometimes. Smart,
yeah,
but like curiosity kills the cat,
yeah,
sometimes. But like there's a ton of really cool moments. Um, like you said, the one where Ashi Ashitaka like does meet San was really cool. The first time we saw the forest spirit was pretty awesome. And then like all of those moments where Ashitaka is like just going ham with his bow and arrow, cool moments.
Yeah, and the fact that like Ashitaka is able to he's like a 10-foot tall bulletproof dude because like he literally gets shot through the chest and just continues on walking like nothing happened. And that was a wild moment for me. That was like a really good moment because he's like, it knocked out Eboshi, knocked out San, and separated them. So,
Yes.
uh,
And then like it's the last one I'm gonna say. It was like the moment that and we have to bring it up. It's such an important line. Is where Ashitaka tells um Lady Eboshi like he's there to see what's going on with what was it? It's like eyes unclouded by hatred.
oh yeah.
Yes, and I thought that was phenomenal, and like it was even better because like the fact that she like just laughed hysterically at it. She's like, "This is ridiculous! Like that you're gonna have no bias? Like how do you do that?" But um,
He did it.
yeah, he did, but he did. Um, and then you had like all those moments where he had to like really subdue his own hatred, and like the curse itself was really cool.
Yeah,
But
I don't really know how someone could. What really stood out to me as well is the fact that he loved San so much,
mhm,
especially love at first sight. He just loved her. You could tell it, and the fact that he was still able to go against her to help save Irontown while trying to help save the forest, because anybody else they would have tried to, obviously be biased towards the person that they love, right? But he wasn't. He was literally they done a good job of showing that he was truly unbiased. So
yeah, he really was. Um, so I mean, talking about like San and her character, like, and you thinking this was more like a Disney princess movie instead of Princess Mononoke. Um, like what do you like? How do you think like San like challenges like that Disney princess role and her being her own like type of princess?
yeah, like um I'm still not 100% like sure why Eboshi and them was calling her a princess. Other
Hmm.
than like the title saying it so or whatever, Princess Mononoke.
The Wolf Princess, yeah.
Yeah. I'm not really sure. I could maybe see it later. If the prince of the Mishi and gets with her, then she would be technically a princess somewhat, right? Of a
Well, you could say she's
banished
the
prince.
princess
So,
of her clan,
you could, I guess.
of the Morrow clan.
Uh, what is that the Wolf Clan or whatever?
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I mean you could, but is that how like they represent like
I don't know the hierarchy of gods,
yeah,
but
okay. I didn't know.
but I have no idea. But I think that's
Maybe
the
that's
only
just the thing, maybe that's the thing that they did back in the day or something. I don't know.
yeah.
Um, but
Um,
she truly doesn't act like a lady at all. That she's the whole reason why this show kind of reminded me of Tarzan because she was like that Tarzan figure, I guess you can say,
right.
of this show, which was really cool because most time you get to see like the Tarzan role get played by a male character, and they chose a female character for this, and um, it's
Right.
just interesting seeing that point of view, especially when there's like love involved. That's I guess not reciprocated. With each other, I guess. Uh, I don't know.
True.
It was just pretty interesting. What do you think about it?
I thought it was a big difference than like some of like the Disney and like some more Western takes on what a princess is like, or like what a female role is in a movie. especially for the mid to late 1990s. Um, her being like that girl's a fighter. San is a fighter, and she is steadfast in what she believes. Um, she's I'd say definitely a hardened person, and I'd say a lot of princesses that we see, I guess at least in Western media, are like soft-hearted people, but the girl's a warrior at the end of the day, and like she fights, and that's what she does, and she defends what she cares about with her own with her own flesh and blood. And I think that's just very very different than what we were getting at the time. Now we've kind of moved a little bit away from that. Um, Especially at Disney, in the last, I'd say 10, 15 years. But this is definitely ahead of its time in that regard for 1997. I think it's
Yeah,
pretty cool. Yeah.
I also think that there's a lot of similarities between San and Ashitaka because both of them like they're headstrong in their own ways. They value their own way of life, more than uh other stuff. So she would rather protect her realm, her forest, than like even like negotiate or like interested in love or anything like that. And Ashitaka is just trying to uh do what he thinks is right too. So
Right. And I think it's a little easier for Ashitaka to like come into the conflict and people be like, everybody chill out when like these people have been at war already. Like
yeah.
they've been doing this. Um, and the humans have been burning down the forest and been cutting down the forest and been taking iron ore out of the land. And like, yeah. And it's also not Ashitaka's home. And we even saw like where he had to push down his hate, like where his right arm wanted to cut Lady Eboshi when he like saw the guns and she was
Yeah.
talking about killing the forest spirit. And he was like, "You would do that?" And then like his right arm was like, "Nah, we about to take this motherfucker out." But
Yeah.
he calmed it down. But I think it's easier for him to be neutral because that's not his land. That's not his forest. Those aren't his people in Irontown. Um, so like I think maybe if Princess Mononoke wasn't raised by wolves and she was in a different forest, she could be more neutral. Or if Lady Eboshi wasn't the leader of Irontown, yeah, maybe she could be more neutral. But yeah, and we don't know if I don't know for a fact that Ashitaka wouldn't be more hateful if it wasn't for that curse, because he knows if he is hateful or if he gets angry, he's gonna die quicker.
Okay.
So, do we know if that's pressure from him not wanting to die from that mark he has, or like is that really how he is all the time? It seems like he's always a brave person because we saw him being brave, but I don't know if
Well,
he's always so level headed all the
I
time.
think so. I think he is
Probably,
because you see at the beginning of the movie, like he has every right to shoot the boar god slash demon, and he don't do it until his people is at danger, at risk,
that's
and
true.
that's when
Yeah,
he chose to swiftly kill it. Um, and he didn't have the mark on him at the time. So, like, I feel
right.
like that's his person.
But he came to blows
Yeah.
with it,
Yeah.
and so I think like what I'm saying, it's like still stands because it's like not my forest.
Yeah. Okay.
He's being a pacifist when it's not my forest, and we saw him kill something when it was his people.
Yeah. So you're saying that if the rose was reversed and he was there, if the what, what is it,
Like
a
Iboshi was tearing
shimi?
down their forest or something like that. Yeah.
If their tribe was on that
In danger. Yeah.
island or whatever, the forest, and they was trying to destroy it, he would act the same as Mononoke or San did, is what you're saying.
Well,
Or somewhat to say.
yeah.
He would act more
Yeah.
malicious.
Yeah, I think so. I think
Okay.
so. If Irontown was in his forest and they were burning the fucking place down, I think he'd be more malicious about it.
I think you're right. I really do. Unless the people, unless the elder people of his tribe had different opinions on it,
True, true,
which
true.
they're really firm in their like God beliefs and stuff like that, spirit beliefs.
Hmm.
So I feel like that they would be very pro stop the humans from killing our spirit slash God, right? So,
Right.
um,
But we
but
don't know. It's all
yeah,
speculation at the end of the
yeah,
day.
yeah.
But my next question was going to be what was your first impressions of Irontown? Because
I was
go ahead.
I was just wondering if the islands that they was built on was man made or not. Honestly,
Really? Okay. Okay.
because I mean, like the first look of it, you see just like two circles in the middle of like a huge river. And I'm just like thinking, is that like natural or did they make that? And like that shit was so big and it was a lot. It was very well built and I like it's the middle of nowhere. So like I was just curious like how long did it actually take them to build something like that? And I don't know. It's just like it's weird to see that there in that day and age and
I
be
don't think
that
they
good.
I don't
So,
think that they made that island though.
okay.
I definitely feel what you're saying, but I mean if we're talking about like the 14th century, you know what I'm saying, or the 14th century, they don't have the manpower to like make a fucking island.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But it was definitely weirdly placed.
I
It looked
think it's
like.
like one of those situations where like you see like old castles like in pictures like or one to Europe, they build them in places where they're a natural fortress.
Yeah. Well, I knew what they was trying to do with
Yeah.
it. So,
Yeah. Like where it's naturally defended.
yeah.
Like you said, in the middle of a river, there's only one way to get in and get out.
Yeah. Um
Um,
it's just weird because like the forest animals and stuff actually allowed them to build something like that when you know damn well that it probably took probably more than 6 months to build something like that in that day and age probably.
right.
So,
I think that like forest spirits don't have a problem with didn't have a problem with them making a village and finding somewhere to live. I think they started having a problem when they started tearing up the damn countryside where they weren't living.
okay. I see what you're saying. They kind of it was just like, okay, let's watch them for a while kind of deal.
Yeah. Or like, okay, like you want to build a home right there. Hey, you got a right to live too, like the rest of us. Like, like that's your little piece of home in the forest. Like that's cool. Oh, wait. Like you're chopping down the rest of the forest? Wait a second. Wait a second. Oh, you're burning the rest of the forest? You're killing us? Wait, whoa, 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 whoa.
Hold
Chill,
up.
chill. Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Exactly. We would have kicked y'all asses out when we saw you. Um, you did not get the right permits to do this. Um, but yeah, like I had similar impressions. I was like, this seems like a very industrious town. Like it's Iron Town. It's called Iron Town. They're making iron, smelting iron. Um, but like once we learned that like Lady Eboshi was like hiring, like buying out prostitutes, contracts, giving them better living conditions, let them eat as much as they want and do whatever they want, and give them power in their own society. And then like the thing with the lepers, making like the guns and designing the guns, like she's giving people like outcasts in the lower rungs of society a place to live. So I very quickly gained a lot of respect for Lady Eboshi in Irontown. And it
Yeah.
made me think like Lady Eboshi, like I said before, is like doing all the wrong things for the right reasons. She needs to find balance, but like she's taking care of people.
Yeah, and I feel like they had to show her in order to keep with the themes of the movie was trying to show where like everyone's not fully one side. You
Hmm.
know, everyone's like one side's right and wrong and the other side's right and wrong too. And then you got the middle Ashitaka, which is
Hmm.
neutral, who is that's the reason why all this worked is because either side can be right and either side can be wrong, and you're looking at it through Ashitaka's eyes, which is looking at it the same way we are, seeing that both sides are right and wrong. So
Right.
that's
For
one
sure.
reason why like he had to go in there and he worked alongside the girls. He talked to them. He visited the lepers. Like he talked to everyone and figured out what exactly was going on and who Eboshi was as a person. And he realized that, she actually isn't that bad. It's just that, she's wanting something that is bad, I guess you can say.
Yeah, and like, I mean, if you think about it, like, in order to defend herself, she has to smelt iron because money gives her power, so she can make guns, so she can buy food for the people in the town. So it's like she really is trying to do the best she can with what she has, but she needs to learn a different way to do it in regards to the forest. And then like you and going back to maybe like some of your confusion, with like the kind of like the subplots. I was thinking maybe some of it was why like she was getting attacked at the village.
Yeah, it definitely because you see the other samurais that they're called. I'm not sure if they really say a name.
Mm,
They're kind of like a prominent role somewhat, but they're not. In this show against Irontown. And we're really not sure why they're attacking. I guess you could assume why they're attacking, right? Uh,
yeah.
but
So
we're
like
not really told why they're attacking. And
so
also the fact that the
we are
ladies.
told we did get told why
Oh,
they were attacking.
okay.
But like how Japan worked during this time, like you had the emperor, but you still like had like warlords under him, like paid the emperor tribute, and paid him taxes. But locally in different regions, like you had these different warlords that like lorded over their land, right? Eboshi moved to that part, but she was, I think, close to or in somebody's land, and he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna attack your land because I'm adjacent, and you can either give me half your iron, or I'm gonna come take all of it." And that's why she got attacked. So that's separate of and outside of what the emperor was, her relationship with the emperor.
Okay, so like you would think that since the emperor is she's so it made it look like she or Jacobo. I
Hmm.
think Jacobo was under the emperor is what it made it seem like, and Eboshi was working under or in partnership with Jacobo, right? And so technically they would be working under the emperor under his orders. Um so why my thing is like why are another part of this land attacking someone that is in under direct order of the emperor doing what he wants them to do? You see what I'm saying?
Right. Okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah. So like, and during this period, like it's like loose control, like of the land more so. Um, when you talk about like warlords, I'm not going to be 100% right on it. I'm going to go ahead and disclaimer that. Um, but it's like, okay, yeah, you have a Jokubo. The reason why Iboshi was in debt to Chikubo was because I mean, he lended her a rifleman to like defend herself.
Yeah.
Um, but I think that was a deal between those two. And he was like, if I help you do this, now you're gonna have to help me go find the head of the forest spirit. The warlord or whomever the samurai leader was like, I don't care what you got going on with the emperor. You have something that's worth money, and by rule in that time period is if I can take it, it's mine.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that's just the end of it. End of it. Like they have samurai. Whoever has the most powerful, and most samurai is the most powerful person.
It just feels like if Eboshi and Jikobo would have said, "Hey, we're doing this for the emperor," you would think that
What
they
the
would
fuck
back off, right?
that's got to do with him?
Well, he's under the emperor too, right?
It's
As
loose. It's loose.
okay, so
Um,
it's not like I guess I'm looking at it from
It's
the
not like
eyes
we
of
would
the
think.
future, I guess, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
it's not like so like back then, kind of like how governments worked, and like you had like feudalism was like if the emperor made enough warlords unhappy, they'd probably kill and replace the emperor.
Okay.
It's not like a government now. It's like, I'm over you. It's like, yeah, we're gonna sit here and pay you taxes and like whatever it is, because like you're doing things we like.
Okay.
You
So
you've given
his
me
word
validity and power. Yeah.
his word isn't really law type deal.
He yes. So say it's 10 people, right? I'm the emperor and there's 10 people. If I make 8 people happy and one person steps out of line, I can tell the 8 people, hey, go fuck them up because they're fucking up the whole system for the rest of us. But say if 7 people are unhappy, then me and the other 3 warlords are in trouble because they might go take out the other warlords first and then come for me or just come for me. So
Yeah,
there's a power
okay.
balance that has to be kept instead of me
Then
just
if it's
being
7 versus 3, then the 3 probably ain't gonna fight again with you know what I mean?
right.
So,
Exactly.
okay. I kinda see what you're saying now. It kinda makes more sense, and I do know the reason why the emperor wanted to kill. So Jikubo wanted to kill the forest spirit because the emperor wanted immortality.
Yeah,
Did
and
you?
Jikubo just wanted to be rich or whatever he wanted. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was rumored that the head of the forest spirit granted immortality.
Yep.
So that I did get that much. I don't think the emperor wanted the or the ore deposits. I think that was Iboshi. And I
Yeah.
think that Iboshi and Jikobo was kind of working together because their plans benefited each other, right? So
Right. You have guns and the ability to go kill, and you're
yeah,
close enough to like, yeah. And you owe me something, and you're close.
yeah. I
And you're
still
a
don't
resource to
under
me.
I still don't understand how um the women and lepers of Irontown was able to defend it against a like samurai
The licks, bro. They had guns.
with it's single shotguns though, and so my thing is like, wouldn't you think that the samurai would have a lot of people? And I mean, they was attacking on water and land.
Mm.
And the people in Irontown was very minimum at the time. And yes, they had one shot guns and they had guns to swap out. So every time they would fire one, they would swap them out and have another
Reloading
one
while
to
they're
fire
fine. Yeah.
instantly while the other one was being reloaded, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But the thing is, I feel like numbers would have overrun something that short staffed, right?
There was a lot of people in Irontown, though.
Still, it didn't seem like it. It seemed like there was only like a
I think it just
20,
focused.
20
I think it
maybe.
was more than 20.
Yeah, it only showed about 20, I think, or
Okay.
maybe even less than 20. Right, is what it seemed like. So,
I was gonna say most closer to like because there was like oh yeah, I think you're right. Actually, it was like 20 or 30 people. It seemed like.
yeah, it was just the women and lepers. That
Yeah.
was the only people that was there because all the men went to fight the boars and
Yes, that
stuff.
is right.
And Ashitaka showed up with his deer, and uh, we seen like a overwhelming amount of samurai closing in on land and water. And I'm just thinking, like, even though this is a like
It's well defended, like the
natural
walls. Yeah.
fort with high walls, um, it feels like a samurai. I don't know what you would call that, faction, maybe. Uh,
I think fashion's a good word for it.
yeah,
Yeah.
a samurai group of people that is determined to be at war. I feel like they would take something like that was severely undermanned with relative ease.
Um, but I'm gonna push back because earlier in the film, when Lady Eboshi, like in her direct company, were being attacked by samurai, it was maybe 15 of those people or less with guns versus maybe 30 or 40 the samurai, and the samurai got their shit rocked
Yeah.
quickly.
Then again, like I feel like that's a little bit different though. Like they're out in the open, and like once you like there, it wasn't like overwhelming numbers, right? And once the first line of guns go down, be shot, and you see a bunch of your comrades just fall, and you're not even close to them yet, then what's that gonna do to you? You know, when they're just being handed a second gun instantly
Right.
or
Okay.
whatever. So
Yeah. I
like
think it still applies because like now you're up on a wall that they have to get through over, a narrow strip of land to get to your door.
that's the thing. They was going by boats too, and I feel
Yeah.
like they could have
I mean,
used
they were,
fire.
and they did get overrun. Like the outer wall got overrun, and they had to
Yeah,
retreat to the ender. But yeah,
I feel like fire could have been used too. I just felt like the strategy, maybe the leader of the samurais wasn't very smart or something. That's what I'm booking it as, honestly. So he just wasn't a smart man. So
yeah. I think being inside and on top of a wall with a gun versus people with swords and arrows is an issue. Um,
yeah,
but yeah, I think that like I've said before, is the movies did a really great job of really fleshing out the characters and making them both good and bad. Like really just how normal people are. But like towards the end of the film, like I saw San like a stab Ishitaka with in the chest with like that spearhead that his little sister gave him that he ended up giving San. Why didn't bro bleed? Like, didn't he get stabbed like right in his fucking chest where his heart would be? What the fuck was that about?
um, I almost kind of think that maybe she was trying to stab him or gonna stab him, or
And she just like
but
hit him with
she
her hand.
didn't follow through. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Because
Okay.
in order to like, I guess penetrate would be the best word to use. You would actually have to like follow through with that and hit it with like everything you had, especially like a makeshift like thing like she had. And I feel like the moment kind of seemed like she didn't follow through with her actions. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the only
Maybe she
thing
just
I
like hit him
know.
in the chest with her hand. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like when she got closer to it, maybe she just let off of it and kind of just like you know hit him, basically like defeated kind of deal. So
It's over. Yeah.
yeah,
But yeah, I thought the end of the movie was really good. Really definitely wanted some more closure about how Lady Eboshi was going to treat the forest differently. Um, whether a new forest spirit was going to come back, because we didn't really get much closure on that either. But you can kind of like guess what's going to happen. Irontown's going to come back, but the people are going to have way more respect for their surroundings. Um, but I mean, the boars are gone. The apes are probably still a little fucking pissed, probably even more pissed. Um, so I'm just like really unsure about like where this would be going in the future.
yeah. Even like the apes was upset with San. They don't trust her or whatever. They trusted her even less after everything happened. Maybe the trust came back after they
She ends
saved.
up saved him. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that is, but right now with the forest spirit gone or whatever because it fell into water, right? And
Hmm.
kind of gave its life to recreate the land again. So I don't know if it's gone or not. That's the question. We don't know how her role as leader protector of the forest like her mother was. We don't know how that's gonna work with the
Hmm.
apes and stuff. And we just don't know about the relationship of San and Ashitaka. Like there's a lot of questions that got left at the end that definitely I feel like should have been answered for us the viewers, but I mean, I guess in ways like some things are like better left to the imagination. Maybe I don't know, but
Yeah. It seemed like it could have gave us 10 more minutes and gotten a lot of that done. But overall, I thought it was a really, really great movie. But Yeah, that's all the questions I had about it. Did you have any more questions that you want to ask me?
Uh, I I think like all the stuff that I was having issues with. I think we already discussed it. I mean, it was a good movie. It was a good watch, even though, like we've said time and time again, like the the characters outshined the plot. The plot made enough sense most of the
Hmm.
time. Um, it was a little bit confusing, especially if you're not like well versed in Japanese history, I guess, and mythology. It could be a little bit more confusing than because you don't really understand why things are happening, I guess.
Right.
But overall, like this is a really great movie just because the characters, and even though it was in the 90s, like it still holds up to today. For
A
it still
hundred
holds up in today's day and age, I think
percent.
so.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But you got anything else, Bass?
That is it for me, my man.
Well, I guess that's it for our Degen review of Princess Mononoke. Hope everyone enjoyed it. And rate the podcast like always. We got I think 20 some ratings on Spotify and
We appreciate you.
5 or 6 on Apple, and anywhere that you can listen to podcasts on, give us a 5-star rating. It really helps out a lot. Tell your friends about us. If you have any movies or shows that you want us to check out, or just like anything you want us to discuss, like any kind of topic that we haven't done already, let us know, like in the Discord, linktree.com/anime degens, or just any socials. Just message me. You can even send us an email. Like I
Yes,
said,
sir.
tell your friends about us, even your non-anime friends. We be grinding out here, and we putting out some really good content. So, uh, but that is about it. Linktree.com/anime degens, and we will see y'all on Tuesday. Later.
Bye.